So 3D Sonic's been on a bit of a losing streak recently when it comes to 3D games. Mario's slamming out great games left, right, and center, while Sonic's hobbling behind trying to scrounge any crumb of positive criticism he can. Hey, at least it's not Sonic Boom! Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Look, even if you thought Sonic Forces was a good game, which it wasn't, the last few years of Sonic games don't exactly pull you in like that fan in Willy Wonka. Or was it more of them just kind of floating upwards? Anyway, it's more like someone is just breathing in through a straw across the room at you. Look, we got Team Sonic Racing, we got Sonic Forces, Sonic Mania, Sonic Boom, and then Sonic Lost World. That's going back to 2013. That's 7 years. And I know I didn't list a bunch of the side games, but I mean, let's be honest, we want to keep this to the main spotlight. Do you really want me to talk about Sonic at the Olympic Games? Well, you know, like sharing the title Sonic? Gotta dispose of Mario's body fast? If the last Sonic game we consider truly decent, aside from Sonic Mania, which wasn't developed by Sonic Team, is Sonic Generations, then that means we've gone 10 years without anything worth playing. But why is that? Why do we get such crappy games? Well, I personally think it's because they just the management, there's something, they don't know what they're doing over there, but I have some ideas that could maybe spice things up for Sonic. They're not a cure in general, obviously my ideas, I'm not a game developer, so my ideas might not work at all, but I think they're fun to think about. And I personally think that Sega could come out with a brilliant Sonic game if only they'd take their heads out their asses, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. You know what I don't like about the recent Sonic games? There's this blue guy that keeps getting in the way of everything. Get out of here! I want to see the little yellow guy do something for a change. When Sonic Mania's trailer dropped and showed off the simple return of Tails and Knuckles as playable characters, everyone's heads collectively exploded. It was incredible. And that kind of sucks, to be honest. Why is playing as the characters we love such a special event? Sonic 2 had Sonic and Tails. Sonic 3 Knuckles then added, well, guess who? Sonic Adventure then said, screw it, let's also add Amy, Big, and Gamma. And while the new additions weren't exactly stellar gameplay-wise, Adventure 2 ditched them and traded them in for Eggman, Shadow, and Rouge. Heroes then came along, slipped on a banana peel that was lying on the sidewalk and accidentally gave us 12 playable characters. And then finally, even with Sonic 06 being a rushed, buggy mess, it still managed to keep the number at 9. Pretty much every one of those games is still regarded as great. I mean, the black sheep of the bunch, of course, being 06, which was blasted via critics and players alike for the problems it had. So Sega, of course, took a long, hard look at the rushed, unfinished, buggy game they pushed out way too quickly for the holiday season and said, but of course, the problem must be these little bastards! Sonic Unleashed, only Sonic. Sonic 4 Episode 1, only Sonic. Sonic Colors, only Sonic. Sonic Generations, 2 Sonics. Sonic 4 Episode 2! I mean, Tails is here, I guess, as a playable character, but only in the multiplayer mode, and tell me with a straight face that you found someone willing to play this game with you. Sonic Lost World, only Sonic. Sonic Forces, 2 Sonics, once again, but now there's a custom character which plays exactly like Sonic, except for instead of the boost, he's got a gun. In fact, they're so similar, they even made stages where you play as both at once. I mean, Shadow's here as well, I guess, even if he is just a skin for Sonic. The thing that adds to the despondency that I carry with me now is the fact that every time they've made a Sonic game with multiple playable characters after 2006, it's always been a heaping pile of crap. Sonic and the Black Knight. What's that? We got a game about Sonic, Knuckles, what's that? We got a game about Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, and Blaze. That sounds fantastic. Oh, the game's been flawed from the start. Let's have a game be an on-rails experience. That went over so well in Secret Rings. And yeah, I ain't knocking on the concept of the games. Sonic with a Sword is badass. They brought back Tails in Sonic 4 Episode 2. And as I also said, he's only playable in 2-player mode. Other than that, he's only there for you to use your new special moves. Sonic Boom, Do I even really need to say anything? And so Sega's backwards logic of multiple playable characters equals bad game got chiseled even further into the back of their skulls. I bet when Mania came out and did well, it really threw a wrench into their calculations. You know what? Dip me in boiling oil, I'm getting off track here. What I should have been saying is that Sega is consistently pushing Sonic's friends to the nearest rocky cliff face in order to throw them off, instead of just saying in 100 different ways that Mania good, Forces bad. But before I get into what I would like to see in a Sonic game going forward, I have been sponsored by NordVPN. Now, I know sponsorships are usually kind of boring, but this affects you and your internet safety. Ooh. It's a dangerous world online, especially if you frequent places with unsecured networks. Dang, someone could just come along and pinch all your private info. And your virtual bum while they're at it. To put it simply, a VPN like Nord's protects your data and keeps it private by sending it through an encrypted tunnel. You can choose what server you want to connect to, new IP address and all. It's like you never existed. It's fast, it's safe, and it's fun. They didn't ask me to say that last bit, but hey, I think it's fun. Whee! Now I'm in Mexico. Yes, you! You need to go down to the description and use my link down below, nordvpn.com/RadicalSoda.
With 70% off and a free gift. What is that gift? You'll have to find out.
The internet will open up to you. You can also use my code. Country-restricted sites and video games and movies and videos on YouTube that have country-restricted things for some reason. All available now with just the click of a button. I'd be telling you to use a VPN even without the sponsorship if you ask me, but it just so happens that Nord has a good deal going and they wanted to sponsor me, so that's what I like to see. And you know what else I like to see? What do I like to see? I like to see stuff in Sonic games. What do I want to see? How about this? Hear me out. I want to see something weird. Let's have a game where Sonic's been captured and it's up to Shadow, Tails, and Knuckles to save him, and the world as well while they're at it. I'd love to see these three in particular trying to work together, not just gameplay-wise, because of course Shadow's just basically Sonic in that department. I mean, I'd love to see them interact with one another in dialogue situations, in cutscenes, like the in-game chatter. Maybe Tails and Knuckles want to save Sonic as quickly as possible, and maybe Shadow wants to make sure the world is safe first, you know, his promise to Maria and all. You could have the gameplay design be like in Sonic Heroes, but a little more in-depth maybe. Like, it would make more sense for, like, if Tails was having to hold everyone, he couldn't fly for so long, so that kind of stops the game.
Breaking news! I'm your host, Grunkle Spunkle, and if you're proposing a video game where Shadow the Hedgehog is a decently written character, prepare to say oh no, because that won't happen.
Oh no!
It seems that Sega's higher-ups have absolutely no clue what they're doing and are forcing the comic writers such as Ian Flynn to make Shadow into some sort of horrible abomination that doesn't resemble his game self, such as the Shadow in Sonic Heroes or Sonic 06.
But that's a good Shadow!
I'm speaking now! In one of the Sonic comics, they have Shadow willing to sacrifice a village of people so he can kick this one guy's ass. Such a horrible display from someone who's meant to be protecting humanity. Omega, I could maybe understand.
You ever thought about a Silver and Blaze game? Ever since their team up in 06, I've always thought they had the potential for some sort of buddy cop kind of game. Perfect for drop-in, drop-out co-op. Imagine a sort of like time-hopping, or what would probably make more sense, dimension-hopping adventure filled with alternate realities of the Sonic world. You know, like, hey, Sonic boom, there it is, go, run, far away from that one. Although apparently, according to Azuka, there's two worlds already in Sonic, like one for the animals and one for the humans. This isn't Sonic X, dude. Can we just have a total universal reset already? Just slap us right in after Sonic Heroes and bam, everyone's happy. No one's gonna miss the Wisps or the Zeddy, believe me. I know these two ideas are like really far-fetched. Like the last non-Sonic Sonic game we had was Shadow the Hedgehog, and then before that it was Tails Adventure for the Game Gear. I, for one, would love to see another Tails game. Maybe something a little slower and exploration-focused, like Breath of the Wild, but, you know, in a big Sonic-themed world, with maybe gadgets instead of weapons. You could upgrade your stamina for longer flight, buy new weapons with rings, although apparently Sonic's world doesn't have money either. I said it once and I'll say it again, nothing is canon in Sonic games.
Darn, I forgot to pay the electric bill for the office.
You could take on big robots and scavenge their parts to make new gadgets or upgrades for said gadgets, and of course the goal would be saving Sonic. Dang, now this could be a great game. The Tails Adventure series of games, like the Luigi's Mansion of Sonic the Hedgehog. I could definitely see this working. You know, Knuckles could work pretty well in this sort of setting too, but more of like a brawler character kind of deal. Tails would be my go-to character for this because of the different ideas for creative gadgets and combats and puzzles, you know. Here's something a little more on topic. I want to know where these characters fit into this new world. Like, we used to know everything about them. For example, Knuckles protects the Master Emerald, last of his kind. Shadow, created by Eggman's grandfather as the ultimate life form, promised Maria to keep the world safe. Amy, kinda ditzy girly girl, but not afraid to pull out her hammer and start whacking when all hell breaks loose. Rouge, government spy, jewel enthusiast. And you know what? I feel like I can stop there. That's plenty to make my point. Okay, so those were the characters as we knew them in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, etc. Skipping ahead to Sonic Forces, a lot of their backstories already don't make sense due to the world having changed so much. Knuckles has seemingly just forgotten about the Master Emerald, not to mention the Chaos Emeralds are suspiciously missing. Shadow no longer makes a lick of sense as his whole backstory revolves around the Ark being raided by the government, composed of human beings, and him making a promise to Maria, another human being. Rouge also falls into this category. She's a literal government spy, and again, there's no government to be found here. Amy is apparently meant to be helping lead a resistance against Eggman, but the life's been just sapped snapped out of her. The Amy we all know would be out there swinging away at Eggman robots, but here she just kind of fills the role of token girl. This isn't supposed to be another video ranting on Sonic Forces, although now I wish it was, because it is so easy to find new things that are wrong with that game. Anyway, what I want from Sega, what I want to see, is for them to explain in a story about where these characters fit into this world. Like, Sonic Adventure 2 did a really, really good job about that. You show, what Knuckles does, it shows what Rouge is doing, shows what Shadow's all about, shows what everyone's doing. I don't think there's like a single character unaccounted for there, apart from maybe Sonic the Hobo, but like, he's always a hobo. He just runs around, living in the streets, eating a chili dog from garbage. Compare the world building in that game to anything after Unleashed, and it very quickly starts to feel like these characters are getting shoehorned in at the last minute. Even Tails. I feel like you could rewrite Unleashed, Colors, Generations, and Lost World to completely remove Tails without anything really changing, especially when he doesn't have a role to play in the gameplay. But RadicalSoda, I hear you saying, oh, you're crying out, Tails is the one with the wacky inventions. Who would translate the wisps so Sonic could understand them? Nobody. Sonic would see a wisp stuck in a capsule and go, oh gee, it looks like Eggman's capturing space critters, I better go stop that fat son of a bitch. Same with the other games. Lost World would probably work a lot better with just Sonic and Eggman unwilling to work together without Tails' incessant whining. Much like my incessant whining right now. It would also make a lot more sense for Sonic to boot Eggman's horn away if Tails wasn't there yelling at Sonic to stop. Sonic wants to help people, so maybe he thought the Zeddies were all being like mind-controlled by Eggman to be evil creatures, and then when they attack Sonic anyway, he could be all like, oh man, I just saved a bunch of baddies. Now I gotta own up to my mistake that I made without ignoring anyone's advice, especially not my best friend who is smarter than me, because that would make me a terrible person who is also very dumb. Okay, look, I can only go so far with this. Let me know what you would like to see in a Sonic game. What kind of characters would you like to be able to play as, and what would they have in relation to the gameplay, I guess? Like, if you're gonna write a big, large Sonic fan fiction story, I recommend you don't. Keep it short and simple. If you want to write the fan fiction thing, go make your own video, please. You'll see my patrons creeping up the side of the screen here. Hopefully that's the right side. I make this joke every time, but it's not a joke, I really don't know. And for the last thing, very, very last thing, I just want to propose something to Sega, and I know this probably won't happen because, they generally don't listen to fans and they kind of do what they want to do, but I just wanted to propose this little idea. Please make a good game! Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Let me just bite into something. You know how you do it? You go... Don't worry, I'm just gonna take a wee drink right here.